podcast was filmed live from undisclosed locations. There was no drug use in this program. If you have a weak heart, watch something else. If you're racist, bye. The jokes we may make are simply that, jokes. So if you can't handle us or you're too young, don't watch, because we definitely don't want to get banned. To sum it up, America, fuck yeah.
Hey Dopeish family, it's your boy Moose here. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about something a little bit more serious in nature, something that has, I'm sure, affected some of you, and has certainly affected myself, uh, that being drug overdoses. Um, it's not an easy topic to discuss, so if you don't want to, if you feel that you cannot watch this, by all means, I completely understand. And this is, I guess, just a heads up that, I'm going to be talking about something that's pretty serious and potentially triggering for some folks. So without further ado, I guess I'll begin. So, I don't know about you guys, but I like to party. Sometimes I've definitely partied too hard. And it's certainly a very easy thing to do, especially in today's day and age where things are available to you almost instantaneously. And goodness knows I've lost several friends to bad decisions, whether it's overdoses, drinking and driving, suicide, you name it. To sum it up, it's a horrible thing that no one should have to deal with. Ideally, we would all be moderate in our extracurricular activities, especially if we are going to utilize illicit substances. I cannot stress this next point enough. If you are going to use illicit substances, for the love of everything important to you, test your substances. There are test kits available online, and they are an invaluable resource to make sure that you know what you are putting into your body. I understand that some people may claim you shouldn't be putting anything of the sort into your body because you don't know what it is. Well, if you know what it is because you test it, that can cut out a lot of the problems right then and there. Because that's a huge problem, is when people consume something that they think is one thing and it turns out to be an entirely different substance altogether. And then the next thing you know, they're not there anymore. And nobody wants to go through with that. The other thing is moderation, guys. Moderation is an extremely understated but massively important aspect when it comes to using drugs, whether they are illegal or legal. And don't bite off more than you can chew. I mean, it's an adage as old as time, practically. I really don't know what else to say here, and for that I deeply apologize. I myself just recently lost somebody to a drug overdose, and you become so clouded with wondering why and how this could happen. And I mean, it's a horrible thing that we wouldn't wish on anybody. Never be afraid to ask for help. There are countless programs available throughout the Central Virginia area, as well as wherever you may live. The internet is an amazing resource to find programs to help you, you know, to seek treatment for any type of issues you may be having with substances. Most importantly, if you love somebody, tell them that you love them. It's so much better to give flowers while you are alive, because ultimately we never know when the last time we get to tell somebody that we love them is. That's all I got, folks. I'm sorry. I love you guys.
What up, Dopeish family? It's your boy Powder here with another tech talk. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. I just woke up. But that doesn't mean I'm not ready to help y'all. But I'm gonna get to that later. Anyway, before I continue with this little discussion of technology and what have you, give us a like and a show of support on whatever platform you on. Whether it be Facebook, YouTube, if this is somehow on Twitch, I know it's not, send us the actual donation. This is a restream. This is not the actual content producer. Or you could just cash at me. Anyway, back to it, folks. We have another continued topic for you. It's just, as you can tell from my last video that I put up, I have a very, very strong opinion about mental health and about what it means and how much you have the right to feel okay. And I'm sorry, I'm already tearing up thinking about it, bro. Damn. Anyway, that's another thing I'd like to discuss later on that thing. But no, I just came here today to talk a little bit more specifically about the technology and the breathing of meditation, because I believe that it's an amazing skill and an amazingly underused technique, technology, whatever you'd like to call it. It's just helped me so much, and I would just like to briefly go over how I reach a meditative state, so that way, hopefully, you may also use something similar and help you find just the peace you seek. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of... This is not the kind of thing I usually just, personally share. It's usually deep personal thoughts. But anyway, it's just all about finding your center. And when you think about meditation, you also have to have knowledge of chi and energy and how that flows through your body generally. I always start by first identifying what is currently blocking my root chakra, and then I slowly go up through the chakras and just see if there's anything individually blocking them, give them each their individual check, allow the energy to flow through, connect out to the universe, all while constantly deep breathing and allowing myself to just relax, allowing all my muscles to just, including mainly what you want to focus on, because a lot of people don't realize that they're doing this, is the tension in muscles right in here and out into your shoulders. And yes, that means letting your shoulders go. Instead of this, while you're sitting, and just center yourself. Let all the energy flow, and just let, this is such a weird way to say it, let your own mind clean itself, and just let everything just flow away. And hopefully, if you sit there long enough, think long enough, and have a clear enough mind, it will bring you some kind of peace. And I know I didn't really touch on the clear mind thing, but sometimes when we meditate, it is not exactly the most clear process. Sometimes things come into your head, you're trying to clear your mind, and it just, a thought here, a thought that's literally what it feels like. It's like, where the fuck did that come from? It's just, you can either choose to interact with them, or you can choose to just view them as they are, view them as what life is, view them with that observational wisdom, but not interact, and then just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. I choose that method. There are people who say you should interact with those thoughts because your mind is specifically showing them to you for a reason, and that you can unravel the root source of that anxiety by following the thought and kind of interacting with it. I haven't had much success with that because it just causes me personally to get anxious and kind of spiral out. So, again, that's a me thing. Also, it's just super important that whether you do choose to interact with your thoughts or just view them and keep a completely clear mind space, that you're listening. That you're listening to yourself. And if you get like a very deep, clear feeling from yourself, and it's like, hey, and it's a feeling of like, hey, you need to go out and exercise more. Hey, you need to go send that email for work. Hey, you need to put in that application. Hey, you need to eat better. What have you. Then do it. Because it's part of meditation is taking what we learn while in that state and carrying it back into real life so that way it's kind of not for nothing. You take these lessons, and I genuinely promise you that you'll be a much better person for it. Now, I'm also not saying, because there are places we go when we meditate, that are like potentially a more darker space in your mind, and that's valid too. Completely valid. Valid. I want to say that. You are valid for having a darker space in your mind. Just like I'm generally a more happy, upbeat person. Some of us have darker spaces in our mind, and that's okay. I only have these bright, happy spaces in my mind because I've taken the time to meditate and focus and shine the light in the darkness. And unfortunately, I found some dark shit in there that I had to deal with in my own personal existence. And honestly, there were some real monsters in there, folks. Some real nasty things. And sometimes it's a painful realization. Sometimes it's a very easy one. It's all really up to you. And that kind of all ties back to it's all really up to you. I can sit here all day and preach to you guys how to do things right and how I think to do things right. And again, I have to come back to that statement. It's an I think. You guys do what makes you feel better. And if none of this works, then at least you had the time. You sat there in a quiet space and just gave yourself the time to relax and not think. And honestly, is that really the most unhealthy thing in the world? Anyway, this has been Powder. Hare Krishna. Namaste. May you find the enlightenment you seek and have a much better day.
What up? It's your local hooligan, Dre Dizzle, aka Dre Vicious. But hey, what's up? Not for real. But so this week we're focusing on mental health and the importance of making sure that yours and those people around you are all hitting on all cylinders pretty much, because the shit's hard. Because like me myself, depression and anxiety, 25/8, and there's days that I just don't want, like, I want to end it, like, not even in a suicidal type way, I just don't want to deal with this shit anymore. Because some days, like, certain days, 10 times harder than other days. But then there's certain days that everything just seems alright. Even if it's for a split second, you know what I'm saying? Like, living with a mental illness, you learn to appreciate smaller things. Because you're usually thinking about much larger things, or other certain small things feel like boulders. Like a small pebble feels like a boulder, and that can be taxing on people. I've lost friends due to suicide from their mental illnesses. I've had friends try to commit suicide. Like, I myself have attempted, and it's one of those things that it never gets easy. It gets easier to deal with, but overall it doesn't really get easy. That's why it's always good to surround yourself with people that, even if they're going through their own thing, they're willing to help you. That way, without you knowing, you're also helping them, because we all need friends, you know what I'm saying? Everybody needs somebody to have their back and that they can talk to, vent to, you know what I'm saying? Just somebody to check on them, because there's nothing worse than feeling alone. Like, there's absolutely nothing worse. I've been in large groups of people and felt like I was the only person there, just in my own head, in my own zone. But yeah, like I was saying, that's why it's good to have. If you don't have a lot of people, even if you're a very antisocial person, that's fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Anything that helps you either not dwell on what's going on in your head. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes shit's gonna suck. Shit's gonna suck real bad. But for every shitty day, every day that you think that this is it, this is as worse as it gets, there's gonna be at least 5 fantastic fucking days. I promise.